Well, Man of Steel has been out for a couple of days now, and I think it's time we do a spoiler sort of talk, kind of like review of this film. And I will point this out. I won't be doing a completely different review on it. I'm just going to talk more or less some of the things I wanted to talk about, but really couldn't. So without further ado, I say we get started. First off, let's talk about maybe something that a lot of people may have been either complaining about that they didn't like, or they're actually pretty cool with it, and it's the actions in this film, like how it's it's very fast, like, you know, it's not kind of like they don't fight like we as humans would fight. You know, if you ever like saw action films. You know, they fight pretty fast. They're crushing into buildings, vehicles, causing big amounts of explosion, damages. And also to point out is, towards like the sort of end, like Superman and General Zod are fighting in Metropolis, you know, they're flying over the place, you know, it's just all fast paced, quick sort of action. And to be honest, I think that shows that because these people aren't from Earth, you know, so and their bodies are adapting to this radiation from the sun. So obviously they're going to move slightly quicker than us humans, and it seems a bit more believable, in my opinion, if I had to be honest, because of that little thing. Because they would move fast. You know, they wouldn't have, you know, just be standing around fighting. You know, they would smash into hundreds of buildings and vehicles, causing mass explosions and whatnot. So yes, I thought that was, and to be honest, I really liked that they did that approach. The other approach I will say is, I might have actually talked to this in my spoiler-free review, but Zack Snyder was the man for this film to direct it. I could see a couple of scenes that Christopher Nolan could have directed by himself, but the majority of most of the film is he couldn't, because as I was saying about the whole fast action thing, Christopher Nolan doesn't have that kind of mind, that visual aspect to imagine all these fast pacing scenes. And with Zack Snyder, he has proven himself that he can do this. You know, he's done it and he's done comic book movies before. He's done 300 and Watchmen. Obviously he did Sucker Punch, which a lot of people don't really like that he did, but I personally like it. And if you actually look at the film visually, there is kind of a lot of fast-paced kind of like ongoing action within the film, and it's sort of, you can kind of see it in this, that it needed his kind of touch on it to really show this whole progression, and I actually think he was the man for the job. Okay, let's talk about Lois Lane. Some people weren't really too sure if Amy Adams was the right role for Lois Lane. I'm a bit of like, I don't know whether she was or isn't. She was good in the film. Like, she was really, really good. But she was kind of like the damsel in distress most throughout the film. But I had no problem with that. One I think a lot of people hate is the fact that she discovered who Clark Kent was. Like, you know, she discovered that very easily. And let's be honest, she is a smart, intelligent girl. You wouldn't think she would put two and two together, you know. So, but what I like about it is that she keeps it a secret. Like, at first throughout the film, you see that she wants to exploit this man. She wants to let the world know that he's not from this planet. He's from a completely other planet entirely. He wants to expose this Superman. But she then learns that what happens if you exploit it. Like, everyone starts looking for him. Everyone wants him. You know, it's like they don't want him, and they'll treat him different as such. So, and you actually kind of see it with it, like in the film. Like, I think it's the when he's in custody, where the general sort of saying like, what makes you kind of like American? I've grown up in Kansas for like 33 years. I'm much American as you. That kind of also shows that he actually, even though he's from another planet, he still feels that he is American. And obviously it's Lois Lane has to that's when probably Lois Lane realises that you can't that he is different. Like, he is an alien, but he's more human than General Zod and his sort of crew were. So she realised that she has to keep this secret. Also, let's talk about one other thing, is Russell Crowe. Now, we all know that Russell Crowe does die in the film. Like, he dies pretty early along. Like, we knew that this was happening, but he actually does reappear. But he reappears as a conscience, you know. And what's interesting is some people thought, oh, he can still, like, sort of fight. But the thing is, he can't. He was kind of like, he's sort of part of the machine, in a way. Like, he can, like, control, like, just like the mechanical stuff. So he can, like, lock doors and what, but he can't physically fight. But he can guide, like, people that he might have chose. And I felt that was probably pretty good that they did that, to show a little bit more sort of emotion, and also for Clark Kent to actually see his real father. So I really do give props for all that. And the last, probably one I want to talk about, is Clark Kent. Now, we all know who Clark Kent is. He's a reporter for the Daily Planet. He wears glasses, doesn't really have a good fashion sense, but his secret identity is Superman. Or is it? Is Superman what he really is, and Clark Kent is his secret identity, is his sort of identity? And that's what I really like, because what you'll notice throughout the whole film is he's not the Clark Kent we all know. You know, like, he's not wearing glasses, he's not, you know, a reporter for the Daily Planet. He spent quite a bit of the film travelling to find where he was. And even when he discovered who he was, he still wasn't the Clark Kent we knew. It was only towards the end where he became the Clark Kent that we all know and love. And I find that was really cool because it reminds me of Superman Earth 1, the first one, where throughout the whole sort of comic, he's not Clark Kent as we all know. He's still trying to find, like, his sort of purpose in life, and that's kind of the same with this. He's not so sure whether or not people are going to accept him as Superman, but he knew if that wasn't going to work, he'd still be someone else. And henceforth, Clark Kent. And that was, I think, the way they did. And to be honest, he actually looked like a pretty good Clark Kent, you know. So obviously, there was like, they say that there's a sequel they're going to put into the works, and maybe we might get more of Clark Kent than sort of Superman, but I'm looking forward to that. And I think Henry Cavill was really good as the role of Superman and Clark Kent. Obviously, there was a couple of nitpicks I had with the film in my spoiler-free review, and I'll just talk a bit more into this. First off was the whole thing where he kind of got to, like, was it the Atlantic? I don't know how, I might have misheard some of it, but that just kind of went awfully fast, how he kind of got there. Like, I would like to see how he managed to sort of get there, because I just felt so quick that he managed to sort of get there, in my opinion. And it was kind of a bit of a bummer. I was kind of not frustrated, but I was a bit annoyed at it. The second point I pointed out was the sort of the support cast of, like, the Daily Planet, you know, like Morpheus and the chick and the other guy. They just felt like they shouldn't really have been in the film as much as they should have. Like, there's a scene where the woman is trapped between buildings, and obviously Morpheus, I don't know the guy, I can't remember the guy's name, I'm calling him Morpheus, don't bash me on it. Then you got the other guy, you know, they're trying to get her out. They realise that they're not going to get her out in time, and they're prepared for it. But I felt, why did they put that in there? That was just a bit of a waste, in my opinion. A waste of time, waste of effort. Really should have left that out, maybe as a wee sort of bonus sort of thing, like, extended bit. But I felt that was a bit of a waste, and I didn't really like it at all in the film. Well, after all of that, I gotta say, I still love this film. This is an awesome. I'm not sure if this is my film of the year as far. I probably would say this is going to be in my top 10, maybe in my top 10, hopefully. There's still a couple of other films to come out, but I really did enjoy this, and hopefully the sequels are really good, and hopefully we get a Justice League movie. But until then, I will see you later.